working on the mantelpiece, making it bigger so that I could wrap it around the sides. Fully entering my mom era. I have got to go to the hardware store. Imagine that. I make mood boards for things that at room service. Hello guys, welcome back to the vlog. We're making tacos for lunch. This morning we went to like a neighborhood kind of like festival, street fair, something like that. I definitely had expectations for it because of how they were advertising it, but it was a lot of like advertising, and you know, it was like booth after booth was like you could build a house, custom house, you could fund a custom house, you could buy a house, like escrow, you could, you know, like it was like one after another. It was just kind of like advertising services and stuff, which I guess is a great way, you know, to find the gutters. You can get gutters on a house. It was like every booth. So we went there, walked around for about an hour, ran to the grocery store. So we're making lunch. I have got to go to the hardware store. Imagine that. Back to the hardware store. A project that I was working on, I messed up, essentially. So I've got to get more material, but it's okay. I needed the material in order to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. So I got to go get some more trim work and a few more pieces of wood to work on my project. And then this afternoon, I want to put together like a little charcuterie board or something. I'm getting together with some of the moms in the neighborhood, and they're gonna come over, and we're just gonna like sit on the grass and have the babies hang out. We have so many families on our street that are all our age, that all had babies around the same time. So Kate's gonna like grow up with these kids. So it's like one's 22 months, one's 13 months, Kate is 16 months. They're all like the same age. So I'm really excited to like have him like start to have friends that are like really close, that we can have little baby play dates. Fully entering my mom era of life, and I love it. It's amazing. I mean, I've been in that era, but like now, like getting together with other moms is really fun. Like it's just, we're all in the same season of life together, so that's really exciting. Flowers from the Harvest Festival still look amazing. My sunflowers don't look so great, but these look really good. Maybe I should put more water. No. On our way to the hardware store. I don't need a ton, but enough to redo what I messed up. It does have to do with the mantle. I was pretty much done, and then I messed up. Like there's just no way of fixing it. I have to like basically rebuild it. So we need another trim piece and another flat big piece. I also needed to adapt it a little bit to make it look more polished on the sides of the fireplace itself. And I didn't have enough to do that with. I needed some wood filler that actually you can stain. There's a couple of different kinds, and this is the one that it basically has the real wood fibers, and you can see sandable, stainable, and paintable. That's like what you're looking for. And then I got these acid crystals so that I can clean off some mortar off the top of the bricks to make them look like extra, doing like perfecting work now. It is the next day, and I'm out here working on cutting wood pieces. I am kind of rebuilding something, like I mentioned, that I like messed up. It's two things. I did it, I thought I was finished, and then I felt like it was missing something. Then I wanted to modify it, but I couldn't modify what I had already cut. So now I'm in a situation where we went and picked up new pieces so that I could change the design to essentially wrap around the fireplace all the way back to the wall. That was like what I was like, it just didn't look right. And so I'm like, oh, it would just be so much better and I could just do it. You know, like I could do it. So I'm out here kind of cutting pieces to do that with, but like every time I like start to cut crown molding and stuff, it always like makes me nervous. I will say that this crown molding piece that I'm using specifically for the mantle is better because it's not as thick as what I've cut in the past that I've had so much trouble with. So the wider your crown, or the taller your crown molding is, the harder it is to use a miter saw like that to cut it. You essentially need to do like 2 crazy cuts in order to do it, and I I have mastered it in some way, but like I always have to reteach myself every time or relearn how. It's a very frustrating process to get them all to match up. But if it's not as tall like this one is, you can actually use the table part of the miter saw and actually like lean it, and it works out a lot better. Like, I don't know if that made sense, but it's a lot better. And I'm only doing 3 cuts, so it's like not that bad. So I'm just out here. Hope you guys are having an amazing start to your week so far. Just slowly chipping away at this living room. It is definitely feeling like so good in there. It's feeling like I've brought some of the soul back in the room. You guys obviously saw like what it looked like before in the video and then like after, but I shared like a before and progress clip on Instagram, and it really is wild to see like how far that space has come just by consequence of like decorating and redoing other rooms. Okay, the audio might just improve because I realized I had you guys on my mic setting was like down to like get all the sound. So one of the first projects I tackled in the front living room was the archways, because I really didn't like those like angled off arches or like openings. They're not even arches. They're just like angled cornered openings. Really didn't like it. It was something that bothered me kind of right away. So I softened those corners by rounding them out and wanted them to feel taller. So I added all that trim work that goes up the wall to make those openings taller. And it improved significantly. And then over time I had added that to the back side of that room. So the arches already gave it an update. And then with us painting a warmer color but still light, and then the beams adding in warmth, and then the brick adding in so much texture, I mean, already such a like improvement, you know, and then the frame around it, like already such an improvement. And now we're to the point where the mantle is going to give it so much more warmth, which is what I'm doing now. Also just like furniture and textiles and stuff. It's crazy to see how the house looked, even the kitchen and everything when we moved in. So working on the mantelpiece, making it bigger so that I could wrap it around the sides. I'm gonna build it a little differently than I did. Just don't want to mess up again because I don't want to buy more material. I mean, that's frankly where I'm at. I'm gonna build it in stages. Yesterday when I was out here, I dropped my wood glue. It rolled all the way down our driveway into the street, into the ditch, kind of. It got so dirty. I need to use the old one as parts. I glued it and nailed it down so good that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it apart without breaking it, honestly. But we're gonna try. I think I got it. Yes. Rebuilt my mantle. I'm just waiting for the filler to dry and all of the joints to like really like glue really well, and then I can stain it and install it. The fireplace section is finally looking like I feel like it always should have looked. It was such an afterthought because it was like all white. It had nothing, it called no attention, you know, and that's the part of the room that the whole room is kind of designed towards, you know, like looking that way. Especially with us, we have our TV there, so we look at that section a lot, and it just kind of disappeared. Finishing up the fireplace will be in this next big video, and also doing the bookshelves. Now that that's close to being like finished, I'll start cutting the wood for the bookshelves and start building all of that. And It's really exciting. Starting to see this room come together has been really, really fun. On the last video, I saw a couple of comments and you guys asking about how I designed the mood board and what I used to do the mood board. So I thought it would be fun to kind of do one together, and I'll show you like my process. Because if you're going to be doing a like room makeover, or you're just designing a new room in your house, or buying a new house or moving to a new apartment or something, and you wanted to like put together kind of your ideas or some things that you've been looking for, or items you already have kind of to incorporate into that room, and you want to see it kind of together in a mood board form, I can show you how I do it. I've used a couple of different programs to do mood boards with. One I used to use a lot, obviously, is Photoshop, because I have a lot of Photoshop experience, you know, but you have to buy that program, and kind of like there's a learning curve to it to like understand how to use the tools and all the things. Then I started to use Milanote, and I still do use that a lot but I found myself more recently gravitating towards Canva. And both are free for some things. Both are like, you can use both of the free plans, or you can use upgraded plans to have like more capabilities and stuff with both, I believe. I think I pay for the version of Canva because I've been really liking it. I think though I really like it because I get to format my pictures or my mood boards or my content for social media, you know, so it's kind of like specific to my job that I think the benefits of it that I really like. But I love that you can collaborate on stuff, but you can pretty much both of them, you can do really similar things. But Canva, I definitely have been gravitating towards more often to use because I can size it to exactly what I want it to be. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see this specific mood board that I made. I do two different types of mood boards. This mood board is more product based. It's not like room inspiration pictures. And sometimes I'll do like collages of like inspiring rooms where it's like the whole thing. It's like you can see the fireplace, the couch, the chairs, the rug, and it's all in one picture, and it's of an actual space. But this particular mood board is just individual items that I found that I collected together into a mood board. So it's kind of, you can think about them two different ways. For my living room, there are not inspiration pictures that look like my living room, at least ones that I can find. And I tend to run into that situation a lot with like my projects where I want to be using specific things that I just don't see often, or incorporating elements that I don't see a lot, or like can't find that really portray what I'm trying to accomplish with my room. So if that's you and your style maybe mixes a lot of different styles, maybe it's more about doing a mood board of specific items that you love. I also did this floor plan on Canva too, which was the first time I had ever done that, and it was not very easy because I had to draw each individual line, but it worked out fine. So first things first, I go and I find the pictures that I want. Let's say I love this couch. It's a pretty color. I'm gonna save this picture to my desktop or downloads. I'll save it just as you can rename them too. I'm gonna upload that picture into Canva. And when it uploads, it's actually going to have a background. So when I click and drag it over, you see how it has like a solid white background. And that's not gonna look good with my mood board because you can see I don't have any backgrounds on any of the pieces in my mood board. So Canva makes this really easy. It has up here, it's called BG Remover, Background Remover. I think you have to pay for the upgraded feature on Canva to have this option, but I think there's a couple of other apps that you can use to like remove backgrounds and then bring them into Canva. So I have the paid version, so I'm just gonna click Background Remover and it's gonna take away the background. It's so easy. It's like really effortless. And so then I can move it around to like wherever like I want it to be on the page. Keep doing that with all of the pieces that I want in the room. So let's say I want this striped chair, remove the background. And once I get the majority of the pieces that I want on the page, I'll start arranging them so that they kind of look good together or they overlap in some way. Let's say I want my coffee table in here. That's the one. This was a coffee table that I already had, obviously, and I wanted to bring it into the mood board to see what it looked like with newer elements that I was gonna do. So that, I found this picture, you know, just on 2Page's website for my curtain that I ordered. So I want that in there, and I just keep adding things in, removing the background. This was actually a picture of a space. I'll put her on the screen. She has a beautiful bookshelf, and she actually has 2 of them in her house that look like this. And I want to build something similar to this, but inspired by other vintage pieces. So I'm obviously going to make it my own. Tried the background remover. Oh, it actually did work. Okay. It worked. I tried the background remover and see how it left like the vase and the ladder and stuff here. So I went in with the eraser and actually got rid of those elements, and I just kind of like painted them out. Oh, I didn't do that one. I just painted them out just to kind of like disappear. And then you can do it like that as well. That was a pretty bad job, but you know, something like that. And then you can bring it into your space. And I found a picture like that looked like our flooring so that I can bring that in. Oh, I found this rug too that looked almost identical to the rug that we have in our living room. And I removed its background. Oops. And then I didn't like that plant because that didn't match my vibe, so I used the eraser to kind of get rid of it like that. Done. Really easy. It's really easy to use. And then once you get like the majority of your like items here, you need to bring them into their proper position so that they overlay right. So I wanted the rug, anything that was behind elements or on the floor. I wanted like behind, you know, so it would be like, or the larger the item, more behind. So the rug, obviously I wanted it to be behind all the other elements, especially the couch and the coffee table. So you go up here to position, and then you can move backwards, and you can move all the way back. So it'll put it all the way behind everything. But I didn't want it behind the floor because the floor is underneath the rug. So kind of making sense of your items like that. So I moved this one to the back. And I think I also like turned this a little bit, made it a little smaller, something like that. Then you kind of arrange your pieces, keeping kind of things somewhat in scale to how they would appear in a room. Like if I have the couch this big, like in proportion, how big would the chair be? It would probably be a little bit smaller or something like that. This frame also probably would be a much smaller. And then the bookshelf, obviously larger, you know, something like that. So you just kind of keep moving it around and until you get all the pieces kind of where they look good and where you want them to look, or arranged together where they're going to sit in the room will also help. Move the coffee table forward so I can overlap the couch, you know, and it starts to come together like that. So when it comes to this pretty like paint swatch, this is also, I think, a paid version of Canva, but I actually found you can go over to elements and you can search elements. So I searched for paint swatch, maybe. Let's try paint swatch. Yeah, see graphics. And then they have all of these paint swatches that you can pick from to put in. This is the one that I used, but you could use any, like if I liked this one, I can make it a little smaller. And don't mind the color, or you're gonna change the color to whatever you want it to be. Then you can search for a paint color online. Let's do the one that I have in the bedroom, which is Dash of Pepper. It's Benjamin Moore. And then I find the swatch online, save the image to downloads, and then I upload it, go to uploads, and I upload that color, and I bring it into the page just on top. So when I'm gonna go back to clicking on the actual paint swatch, and you can see up here in the toolbar, you can see where the golden color is. I'm gonna click color, and it's gonna bring up this document of colors on the side. And then I'm gonna click add new color. I'm gonna click the eyedrop that's next to it, and I'm gonna pull this over onto my paint color from the picture that I saved and color it. This isn't always super accurate because you're eyedropping a picture, so I can see that it's a little lighter than it should be. You can keep color swatching it until it gets it right, or you can kind of move this around to get it really the color that you need it to be. And then I can delete that picture because I don't need it anymore. So there's your paint swatch. I don't know if you'll need to do this, but I like call out like specific things with arrows and text. I don't know if you're gonna need to do that, but it's pretty easy to do. You can search your elements for arrows or lines or whatever kind of like arrow. Literally the options are endless. You can use anything. You can even do like a double or like have like multiple pointing. I mean, there's so much in Canva that you can use. I think that's why I gravitate towards using it, because it just makes it like, look how fast I made a mood board kind of. And then you're just gonna click, let's say I like this arrow, and you can make it whatever color you want. I'm gonna turn it white so it's a little there but a little more subtle. And then if it's going kind of the wrong direction, you can flip it so that you can make it go the other way. Makes more sense with like words that you can call out. And then you can do text. I often like my text to look handwritten when I'm doing mood boards. So you can add in text here. I'll just add in a subheading. Be like custom bookshelves. And change the font. This is a good one to use. I really liked this one. Linotype felt pen. And I'm also going to make it white and bold because it's hard to see. Something like that. Making a mood board like this doesn't even have to be for yourself. It can be great if you're going to be working with a designer or a contractor. Like when we were doing the kitchen, I had to show, you know, specific things that I wanted and call out. Anything tangible that you can show someone that's going to be working on something for you is going to be so helpful. And even just like collecting things for yourself. If you're going to be designing, you're going to be able to refer back to it and know what you're looking for, and it's going to keep you kind of like on track. I feel like it helps me a lot because I made this mood board very early on in the living room process, and I've referred back to it almost every other day throughout the whole process, from like sampling colors and just like reminding my brain like what direction I'm going, because sometimes I can like different things, or I can start to steer a specific way and I'm like, oh no, like that's not going to look with this and this element that I already have that I'm incorporating. So it can be really helpful, and I think they're just fun to make. Like I make mood boards for things that at rooms I don't even have. Like, you know, like I just like to like put things together and like see how they look. I also was able to see what different fabrics and materials looked like with my other elements. I actually considered this striped chair for the living room, and I decided against it because I had so much pattern in the rug and I was doing so much textural stuff. Like I decided against it, but I wouldn't have been able to decide against it if I didn't see it with all of this other stuff. I hope that was interesting and fun, and it's like helpful for you if you're going to be making a mood board and stuff. So I'm going to head outside for the rest of the day and finish up the mantle and get it all like completed, and I'm really excited to see the warmth on the fireplace. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I'm gonna leave you guys here, start the next vlog so you guys can see. I also have made updates to the bookshelf plan. It's been up for like 2 days now, so I've been able to like live with it and step back and feel it, and it was feeling a little bit too large and in charge. Like I dropped it a little and also brought it in from the left side corner a lot. It was never gonna touch, but I needed to like kind of see how far away from the wall it was going to be so that it felt a little more balanced and it wasn't so like crammed into the corner. So I updated that too. So that's like fine tuning and like a work in progress. So that when I go to like cut the first piece of wood, I have a pretty solid plan of like the direction that I'm taking it. So I will see you guys very soon for another vlog. Bye guys.